Hey everyone, so today I wanted to do a video just kind of catching up with you guys, answering some kind of juicy questions, getting into some interesting topics, and just connecting with you all. I know I haven't made a video in a little while and I definitely miss you guys, and I'm in an interesting mood. I wouldn't say a bad mood, but I'm in a little bit of like a feisty, spicy mood, so hopefully that will be kind of reflected in some of my answers to these questions, but also will give you some insight and kind of some honesty from my part, and hope that you guys can appreciate that. So the first question is, how do you deal with people lying? Now I assume that they're asking me this because I've talked a lot in the past about just becoming really in tune with your own intuition and how to realize people are lying, how to kind of feel out someone's intentions, their true character, what they're actually like, and then how to move on from that. I think in a friendship, in a relationship, in any sort of situation, when someone you care about lies to you, or you figure out that someone hasn't been honest with you, that's a very difficult situation, and people all handle that differently. And I think for me, something really interesting is that I read a quote one time that said something to the effect of, if you just give people a little bit of time, they'll expose themselves. And I do think that that's very true. I think when I was younger, I used to find out someone was lying, or I used to think that they were. I'd have like a hunch or just a bad feeling, and I'd want to get to the bottom of it immediately. I'd want to like hash it out and really, figure out with them why they felt the need to do that. I'm someone who is very elastic on what I will accept from people as long as you're honest. So even if it's something really bad, but you tell me straight up the honest truth and it's something difficult for me to hear, I'm going to react so much better to that than if you tell me a lie that sounds really nice in theory, but is just completely so far off from the truth, and then I find out that you were lying about it down the road. And again, obviously I can only control myself, and I really at the end of the day only have my own experiences and knowledge to use on this. But I think for my own self-growth and how I have grown as a person, I realize that I'm someone who has a very guilty conscience. I do not feel good about lying at all. It makes me feel terrible. It makes me really paranoid that the other person's going to find out. And so I just really never do it. If anything, I'm overly honest, which can come across, I think, a little bit shocking to people sometimes. Like, they're not totally used to it, because to be honest, in this day in life, like, I think a lot of people get away with telling lies, like everyday small little lies. And I think the more often that you do that, and the more you condition yourself to thinking that's okay, the more that you think it's okay to lie about things that really matter, to not have those tough, difficult conversations. And there is so much growth and connection made through being honest with people. And I do think that being honest with someone is just the biggest form of intimacy. Like, there's nothing more intimate than completely bearing your soul and telling someone something, especially when you know it's hard, and especially when you know it's something that they don't want to hear. That is really giving the other person the full ability to truly connect with you and to understand you, and then to make a decision based on reality. I think it's so unfair when people lie to others and skirt the truth and omit things. And yes, omitting things is still lying. I have met so many people that think just because they didn't mention something in a story or something that happened, that they didn't lie, because they never said it didn't happen. They just didn't mention it at all. And yes, omitting is still lying. But I would say that the way to deal with people that lie to you is to get to a place where you realize it's about them. They, for some reason, don't feel secure enough in their own actions, in their own behavior, in their own beliefs, in their own thoughts, their own situations that they've created or whatever, to own it. And I think that is the most unattractive trait ever. And I think once you kind of look at it that way, you stop being so hurt and offended by the fact that they lied to you, and you just realize that they are lacking in some parts in their life and they need to do some improvement on some things. And I also truly don't think that you can have a functioning friendship, relationship, partnership, anything with someone who is not equipped to tell you the truth. And the real thing is, don't expect honesty from people that lie to themselves. And kind of mic drop on that one. I think that is the biggest thing. If someone can't be honest with themselves about things, and we all know people like this, then how are you expecting that they're honest with you? Like, that's mind-blowing to me. It's never gonna work, and it's not reality, and it's not realistic. So just kind of keep that one in mind. The next question I got is, why are you not happy with your appearance, hence all the changes? So I have talked about things that I have done to kind of improve my appearance over the years. Now, I did start making videos when I was like 13, 14. So just so you guys realize, I will be turning 25 in September. So I've been doing this for so long. I'm a full-grown adult, a woman, and I've gone through many changes with the way that I look and the way that I feel about myself. And I have to say that in this very moment, I am the most happy with the way that I look and the way that I feel as a person and the person that I am, the things that I can offer to people and the qualities I really have worked on within myself and understanding myself. And my appearance is just an extension of that. I do not think that what you look like is really that important at the end of the day. I know so many people that are very attractive, but that's the only thing they have to offer, and so therefore it completely diminishes any outward beauty that they have. Now for me, feeling good about myself is something that I think makes me a better version of myself in a way, because I feel more confident, I feel good about myself, I don't dwell on things that I lack or focus on things about others that I wish I could achieve or have. I know that if there's something that bothers me, I feel like I want to live my life in the idea that I did everything in my power to fix that and control that, but I never think that I'm pushing that on people. I don't think that my own standards of beauty and the standards that I hold myself to should be pushed upon to other people. And I've tried to make that so clear that I think every person, honestly, is beautiful in their own way, in their own unique, certain characteristics and aspects that they have. I'm never trying to tell you that you have to do this and this to look beautiful or to achieve a certain look or anything like that. It all is personal, but I do know that there are other girls that maybe feel insecure about their breasts, or they feel insecure about their teeth, or they want to know about lip fillers, which hence I have not gotten them done in literally over a year and a half now. So the fact that people still comment on that is kind of annoying, but at the end of the day, whatever, it is what it is. I've opened my life up on the internet, so anything people have to say is kind of fair game and they're right. I just don't really see the point of it. I personally never comment on people's opinion or appearances negatively because it doesn't make me feel any better. It doesn't make me any prettier. It doesn't make me any happier. It doesn't do anything besides give out that negative energy from myself that I think I get back in karma. I think anything negative and ugly and rude that I say to people that's just unnecessary and is meant to hurt someone, it's never going to affect me in a good way. Like, I know that, so I just don't do it. And, you know, if I see someone enhancing themselves in some way, getting a boob job or something, and I know I don't want it or I don't think it looks good, like, why am I going to take the time in my own day, my own happiness, my own path that I'm living to go tell them that? Like, I just don't feel like it's my place, so I've never understood the people that leave really nasty comments about that. But at the end of the day, the number one thing is, if you're going to do that, you can do it to me, because I actually do feel good about myself and I really do love myself and I'm proud of myself, and I think I've come a long way with that. And I think every girl struggles with feeling confident in their body and liking the way they look and just feeling like they are a good version of themselves. And I don't think it has to be cosmetic, but if there's something that you want to do and it's going to make you feel better, like, don't care what other people think. It doesn't matter. Like, the difference that it's going to make for you personally, if it's something that bothers you, far outweighs any person online saying that they don't respect you because you got your teeth done or because you chose to get filler or because you chose to get a boob job. Like, they don't live in your body. They aren't you when you're naked. They don't know any of that kind of stuff. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they think. And the only thing that I want to majorly touch on is that I am definitely not promoting this stuff. I talk about it because I get questions about it all the time. And I think that it's far more detrimental for me to stay quiet about it and to not explain these things, and then to have girls go online and, I don't know, maybe look at photos or videos and compare themselves in certain ways and not know that my boobs are fake or my teeth, I've had them done and they're veneers, and think, oh, why my teeth are not that white? Why can't my boobs look like that? Whatever. I just don't think that it's fair to not be transparent about it. But at the end of the day, it is something that I chose to do to help other girls, and that's really the whole point of it. I don't get really anything out of it besides telling you guys, so I just think that those of you who understand where I'm coming from with that, I really appreciate you, and those of you who have negative things to say about it, you don't need to watch me, honestly. Like, it's totally fine with me. There are so many girls on YouTube that I don't watch because I don't relate to them, I don't find any connection to them, and I just don't really think that I'm benefiting from watching them. And if you feel that way about me, you know, it's sad, but also do you and figure out what aligns with your own life choices and the way that you want to feel. And if you're just curious or just someone who wants to hear about things, maybe you have no intention of doing anything that I talk about, but you want to hear me talk about it, that's fine too, and I fully support you. And those of you who have been really kind and respectful, I applaud you, and you're probably the type of girls that I'd want to be friends with in real life. The next question is, how is the no sex rule working? So this is related to a video that I made a while ago, and I was talking about how not having sex can really be beneficial if you're someone that wants to get into a serious relationship and you're interested in getting to know someone on a deeper level and really evaluating your feelings that you have for them that are removed from anything sexual and anything physical, because I do think a lot of times that can really cloud your mind and your judgment and can get us caught up in feelings that maybe weren't all that real to begin with, but because we did something, we felt almost like we needed to see it through, or we felt more connected in a way, and that's very natural. I think a lot of people go through that, and it's really nothing to be ashamed of. It's something to feel bad about. I think there are certain people that just cannot handle casual sexual encounters, and I think it also is a bit of a maturity thing. I think some people go through phases in life where they really like that. It's empowering to them, it's fun, they're experimenting, they're figuring out what they like, which I do think is really important. I think if you are a very sexual being and that's something that's going to be important to you in your relationships, like, of course you need to know that kind of stuff. If you don't know that, you're gonna end up with an unfulfilling relationship, which is not gonna be great either. So I just think when you arrive at a certain point where you know what you want, you know what makes you feel good or what makes you not feel good, then removing sex from the dating scene can just really help in a lot of ways. And without completely like outing myself and other people's privacy, so the year 2020, I have been with 2 people, and that's it. Both very, very much care about them. Have an aspect of love there for both of them, and I think that for me, that just works the best. I am not interested in being with people casually. It's not fulfilling to me, it doesn't help, and I don't think that it is beneficial at all, especially in dating. I think it's actually very negative for me. So I would say the no sex rule is actually a very good rule. But it doesn't actually mean having no sex. It basically just means reserving that for connections and people that you truly care about, you're in love with, you really could see as partners, or you actually feel like there is some connection there mentally, emotionally, spiritually that doesn't actually just revolve around sexual chemistry. Because if you have all those others, I think it's pretty indicative that the fact that you're going to be compatible sexually. But sometimes when you're compatible sexually, you're not compatible spiritually, emotionally, and literally just like mentally. So that's also something you need to watch out for. If you guys would like a whole video about sex and relationships, all that kind of stuff, let me know. I love talking about this stuff. I could talk about it for hours. I think the human connection and human experience is so interesting and it's so complex. I think it's fascinating why we feel that attraction to some people and for some people we just don't. And it's honestly kind of sad because there are certain people that, you know, they're great and they're amazing, and on paper you're like, this should work, this should be someone that I just really gel with, and for some reason you just don't. And then there are other people that you're like, okay, this ends up being the person, which comes with a whole slew of other situations going on, but for some reason that attraction and chemistry is there, and it just is. And sometimes you just gotta roll with it, and you just gotta realize that's just all the magic working its place. The next question I got is about music, my favorite music lately. So I will be honest, I'm gonna expose myself in a way. I am really not like a big music person. I'm never the person that wants to go on aux. I never have a bunch of cool music that people have never heard of. I do love live music, like so much. I would listen to almost anything live. I just think that live music is such an experience. It's so bonding, and going to concerts and stuff is so fun. It's like definitely something I miss so much during this whole COVID craziness. I cannot wait until concerts are a thing again. I think it's so sad. Like, summer is just not the same without live music. But having that said, I also am probably one of the only people in the world that still uses Pandora. But I do, and I like to find good music on there. I love Lainey. I've loved them for so long. Such a huge fan. The 1975, all that kind of stuff. I think it would be kind of like alternative indie rock kind of stuff. Bon Iver, I fell in love with even more so after watching the Heath Ledger documentary. So beautiful and just really like haunting and enchanting. I like Lana Del Rey, and then recently I've really liked the band Camino. They're awesome. I think their songs are just so catchy. I played them like over and over again until I get sick of them. So, you know, I don't know if that's like a good thing. And recently I was listening to Pandora, and Tracy Chapman had her own rendition of Stand By Me that she performed on Letterman, and it's beautiful. It's so, so pretty, and I have just played that over and over again, and I love it. So I'll go ahead and link kind of all the stuff I talked about because that's a lot down below. But yeah, I'm just not a huge like interesting music person. I just like what I like, and I like older stuff as well. And I don't know, the music I like is never stuff that's on the radio. I think that's pretty much my sense of music. The next question is, what's one thing you've learned about guys that you would say is surprising? Oh man, so I would say in this past year, the number one thing that I've learned is that men are very, very sensitive. More than I would think, honestly, but it's a really good thing. I'm a very sensitive person. I think people that are sensitive are really sexy. I think it's very masculine to actually be able to express your emotions. I think it's the weakest and like most unattractive thing in the world to not be able to say how you feel, like to just not want to, or to literally be unable to, whether you don't know how to express that, or you don't feel comfortable, or you just like don't think it's cool or needed or necessary, or like you don't need to be open with your feelings in that way. And I'm generalizing a little bit. I think that men do this more than women do. I think they keep it to themselves, but the times when they do open up and you do get to see that vulnerability and that sensitivity is really, really special. And I do think that as women, we need to really kind of reward that. And when some guy opens up to you, like, understand that's a big deal, because they definitely have feelings. And I feel like they are very, very sensitive, and sometimes even more so than women, because they don't express it as much as we do. So when that happens, you really need to be loving and nurturing and caring and letting them know that you like that. That positive reinforcement, I think, is so important with men. I think a lot of times, like, girls aren't expecting it, so they don't really know how to react, and that can just shut a guy down, like, emotionally, internally, completely. So that's something I've really learned this year that I'm really happy about. I really appreciate that, and like I said, I really find it a huge indicator of strength, actually, when someone can be emotional and can be mentally and emotionally that mature to express that to you as well. If you can't do that, it's such a turn off for me, but I know it's difficult for some people. And I think just the whole point is choosing to work on that, choosing to try to become better in that is ultimately going to lead you to just much better relationships and situations, because in life, you gotta say how you feel. You know, people, as much as I wish I was a mind reader, I'm not, so I'm not always gonna know. And it's so, so appreciated and needed and helpful when men especially can be direct and very open and vulnerable about their feelings. I think it's amazing, and something we as women have to keep rewarding them from, and really, really letting them know that we like that and we need that. The next question is, how do you deal when things in life aren't going your way or making any sense? Wow, you are kind of preaching to the choir here. I have been in that headspace a lot in the past, and I think most of it comes down to outlook. It's very easy to become negative and to think things aren't working out, to not understand things, to be like, you know, honestly, like, shit, why is this happening? Why is this not working for me? What am I doing wrong? You know, this is unfair. That's like so easy to fall into. But it doesn't actually do anything. Nothing is being propelled by that. No positive energy is flowing. You're not manifesting anything incredible into your life. You're really blocking yourself. You're staying stuck. You're feeling sorry for yourself. You are focusing on all these negative aspects, and you aren't reading between the lines and seeing the silver lining in things. And the number one thing that I have realized is when you feel like things are kind of crumbling or falling apart or just not working and not making sense, and you cannot figure it out, that is like the main point of a transformation. And that's when things behind the scenes are really changing and working and coming to fruition for you. And you have to trust in that and believe in that and keep on that path. And I promise you, when you look back, you'll be amazed at all the things that didn't work out, why they were replaced with something far better, far more suited to you, and far more special that maybe you just couldn't see in the moment. And I promise you, once you start to look at life this way, it becomes foolproof. This just happens over and over and over again. And it's crazy for me to see that, because I used to be someone who was like a little cynical and negative. And now when I look back on it, it's like a failed relationship turned into a relationship with someone else that is a million times better. You know, a failed job prospect turns into some new passion that I love even more and I make more money in and I'm more fulfilled in. A failed situation with a friend ends up being something where you're directed to a group of friends that really connect with you and make you feel good and make you feel welcome and warm and like that's where you're supposed to be. It always works like that. And just please, please, please give yourself the chance and the understanding and that energy to have into your life. And don't block yourself by telling yourself that nothing is working out and nothing's going to happen good for you and that things just make no sense and there's no rhyme and reason to it. I do believe in like a divine destiny and that we all have paths in this life that we are being taken on, and a lot of it comes with our own self-growth and things that we need to learn about ourselves, things that we need to work on, things that we need to actually go through to become the people that we then should be. And I think that is the most beautiful part of it. When these things are negative or things aren't going your way, that's such an opportunity for you to harness your inner strength, become a better person, level up, and then just get ready to look back and see all the amazing changes that were behind the scenes that you didn't see going on. They will become evident in your life shortly once you're redirected to some things that are really a lot better and just more special for you. And a quote that I really love says, "I did not pay attention to the world's ending, for it has ended for me many times and begun again in the morning." Now this is literally like my life. There are so many things. And it's funny now, but it wasn't funny at the moment. But there are things that I look back and like in my mind, they were like earth-shattering, complete like world destruction things that life was never going to be the same or good afterwards. And you know what? Next day, the sun still rose, things happened, life moved on. And then I'd look back in certain time and I'm like, wow, I am so glad that happened because I wouldn't be the person I am in the place that I am with the people that I know now if that stuff didn't transpire. So just kind of trust in that and hold on. I promise you it's going to get a lot better and it's all just part of the ride. So try to enjoy it if you can. And the last question I have is about twin flames. They want me to kind of explain this and kind of go a little bit deeper into it. And to be honest, I'm going to have to do an entire video on the twin flame journey and everything. They were asking me, is it about love? Like, what's actually the ultimate purpose of a twin flame journey, relationship, all that kind of stuff? So, without making this entire video about that, basically, a twin flame relationship isn't really about love. At the root of it, it's actually about truth and like the radical personal awakening that comes from that, from seeing yourself from a very, very truthful, hard light, and also seeing that within someone else and working on the things that you need to fix, understanding the wounds that you have, certain things that, you do that hold you back from true love, and from understanding how you can kind of more embody that unconditional love for someone, to let go of your ego, to let go of things that block you and hold you back, and to really level up and become the person that you were destined to be, but the person that's going to take some self-work and some healing and some growth. And the twin flame is kind of just the catalyst for that. That connection and that relationship and situation is so intense and it's painful and it's hard and it's confusing. But the whole point is it's a cleansing of your soul, and it really is helping you ultimately achieve something that you couldn't do without them. You can't get the benefits of a twin flame relationship without going through the hard parts. And it's very hard. Like, it's the hardest connection or relationship you will ever have, but there is a point to it. And the point is to make you a better person and to pull out everything that you have kind of suppressed and put down, and years of different doubts and things that you've told yourself, to kind of remove all of that and to end up being a more loving and understanding, careful, thoughtful, and just wonderful being. And I think that that is so special, and I think it's not for everyone. I think there are so many people that unfortunately just are not willing or not wanting to be as awakened or enlightened as you have to be to go on that journey, and that's really fine. I think finding in life what works for you and what sits naturally with your own mind and what's comfortable for you is important, and not everyone wants to go through all of that. But if you're someone that loves really deeply and you have a lot of emotion, you're very sensitive, and you have some sort of connection to the universe, I think it's the most incredible thing ever. And I would love to make so many more videos about it because there's so much that I could say. It's literally the most transformative relationship and period of your life, but for good reason. It's literally ultimately turning you into the best version of yourself possible. So that's it for my video today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to keep up with me on Instagram if you want to see what I'm doing, what I'm wearing, and all that kind of stuff. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.